Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today I'm going to discuss a tutorial question topic approach in problem solving. Let's have a look to question number 1. Calculate the average of three numbers that are randomly inserted by the user. You have to write the IPO. So first, you have to identify the output first. So in the question, it asks you to get the average of three numbers. So the output should be average of three numbers. Right, to get the average of three numbers, what are the input needed? So of course you need the three numbers and the input should be num1, num2, and num3. Means that it allow user to enter any three numbers. So you cannot write in this way three numbers. If you write three numbers, so like this, it means that it only allow user to enter only one number. Right. Then another thing, you cannot write num1, num2 and num3. So you cannot use and. Right, so you have to write num1, num2, and num3. And how about the process? So the process is you are going to calculate. So what is your output? Average of three numbers. So based on your input. So what is your input? Num1, num2 and num3. Okay, in the process you can use the word and, but in input you cannot use the word and. You have to separate by comma. Right, next we move to question number 2. Ahmad wants to create a program that determines the total area of a piece of land where length and width are given. So you have to identify the input, process and output. That is IPO. So first of all, you have to identify the output first. So what are we going to get? So we are going to get the total area of a piece of land, and the output should be total area of a piece of land. Right, next, how about the input? So in the question, okay, it mentioned that the length and width are given. Means that this is the input. So to get the total area of a piece of land, you have to insert length and also width. You have to separate by comma. Okay, length and width. Okay, you have to separate by comma. So how about the process? So you are going to calculate what? Calculate. What is your output? Total area of a piece of land based on what? Based on your input. So what is your input? Based on length and width. Okay, here you can write and, but in input you cannot use and. You have to separate by comma. Okay, next we move to question number 3. A government tax of 10% and service tax 5% will be added to the price of a set of meal bought at MFC. Calculate the total price that Ali has to pay for a set of meal. What are you going to get? So first of all, you have of course to identify the output. So we are going to get the total price. Okay, total price. So you just write down the output as total price. Okay, now since you are going to get the total price, what is the input that you need to enter? So of course, you have to enter the price of a set of meal. So this should be your input, price for a set of meal. Right. Do you need to enter 10% of government tax and service tax that is 5% in the input? No. If you see the constant, right? This one is a constant, 10% and 5%. You don't have to put in the process. Okay, in the process, you only write down the variable, the value that is changed. So the constant you don't have to write in the input. Okay, so how about the process? So we are going to calculate what? So you are going to calculate the total price based on what? Based on your input, based on price for a set of meal. Okay, now since you have 10% of government tax and 5% of service tax, so you have to add by adding what? So by adding 10% of a government tax and 5% of service tax. Okay, you have to use the word adding. Okay, for example here, let's say the price for a set of meal is 10 ringgit. So I enter here 10 ringgit. Okay, next you are imposed, okay, with the 10% of government tax and 5% of service tax. Okay, based on what? Based on 10 ringgit. So now that's why you have to use adding. So once you press enter, then you will get the total price as RM 11 ringgit 50 cent. So 10 ringgit plus with your government tax is 10%, that is 1 ringgit, and 5% is the service tax, that is 50 cent. So altogether you have to pay for 11 ringgit and 50 cent. Alright? Alright, next we move to question number 4. Prepare a problem analysis that calculate the BMI for a person. Identify the IPO. So of course here you start with the output first. So since the question already give you the formula here, so normally the output is BMI. This is what you are going to get, BMI. And then to get the BMI, what is the input that you need to enter? Of course, weight and height. So the input should be weight, comma, height. Do you need to write in height twice? Okay, no. You only write height only once. Right? So for example here, let's say you surf to the internet, you are going to get the BMI. So what do you need to enter? Of course, you need to enter your weight. Okay, let's say your weight is 50 kg. So you enter your weight as 50 kg. And how about your height? Let's say your height is 150 centimeter. So you just type in your height in meter, for example, 1.5. So once you press enter, then the computer will calculate for you, then and at the end you will get your BMI. Do you need to enter your height twice? No, you don't have to enter your height twice, only once. But that's why your input here is only once. Okay, next, how about the process? So the process, you are going to calculate what? Calculate the BMI based on, what is your input? Weight and height. So this should be your process. Alright, next we move to the question number 5. So for question number 5 here, a hotel offers 2 types of room with different rate. So you have 2 types of room, that is superior and deluxe. And the rate per night for superior is 160 and deluxe is 180. Right, next, during the school holiday, the hotel offers a 10% discount on the total room charge. Okay, you will get 10% discount during the school holiday. Okay, based on what? Based on the total room charge. You are going to make a reservation of 1 superior room and 1 deluxe room for a few nights. So you have to identify the IPO to calculate what? Display the total room charge that you have to pay. So first of all, what are you going to get? So we are going to find the total room charge, right? Total room charge. Okay, next, to get the total room charge based on the question given, what is the input? So now here you can read this one. So you are going to make a reservation of 1 superior room and 1 deluxe room for a few nights. So of course the input is number of night for superior, comma, number of night for deluxe. Okay, deluxe. Okay, means here this program only allow you to reserve only 1 superior room. Okay, can you reserve or book more than 1 superior room? And also, can you reserve or book more than 1 deluxe room? No, you cannot reserve more than 1. You only can book only 1 superior room and 1 deluxe room, but you can reserve for a few nights. Let's say you want to reserve a superior room for 5 nights. Then this program allow you to reserve for a number of nights. Okay, next, how about the process? So what are you going to calculate? So you are going to calculate total room charge. Okay, based on what? Based on number of nights for superior and number of night for deluxe. Okay, based on your input. Okay, deluxe. Okay, now since you have here is 10% discount, so if you get 10% discount, so you have to buy deducting or adding, so you have to use deducting. Okay, deducting, because you have to pay less. Okay, by deducting 10% discount. Right, this is your process. Okay, now for example here, let's say I want to book a superior room for 1 night. So what I need to enter is, I only need to enter 1. Okay, and then how about the number of night for deluxe? Let's say I want to reserve or book for 1 night also for deluxe. Okay, so now in the process here, it will calculate one night times with the rate for superior is 160 plus with the number of night for delight is 1. Okay, for example, just now I entered 1 times with 180. Okay, and then it will calculate, then you will get how much? 340. Then it will deduct with 10% discount, that is 34 ringgit. And finally, I have to pay for 306 ringgit. Okay, 306 ringgit will be displayed, okay, for the output. Okay, but the formula here, you don't have to write in the process for IPO. You only need to write the formula, okay, in the process for your pseudocode and flowchart, and you will learn about the pseudocode and flowchart later in the next topic. So for IPO, you don't have to write any formula. Alright, next we move to question number 6. Create a program that calculate and display the overtime pay received by an employee. So overtime rate is 500 ringgit per hour. Analyze the problem above by determining, okay, the input, process and output involved. Okay, as usual, you have to find the output first. So what are you going to get? So you are going to display or to get the overtime pay. So the output is overtime pay. Okay, next. How about the input? So how about the input? So the input here is it 500 or is it per hour or hour? Or is it the input is 500 ringgit and also hour? So the input is only hour. So later I will explain why the input is only hour. Okay, next. How about the process? So you have to calculate what? Calculate your output is what? Overtime pay based on hour. That's all for your process. Okay, now as I told you before, if you see this one 500 ringgit, so 500 ringgit is considered constant. So if you see the value that is constant, you don't have to write in the input here. Alright, the input is only a variable, the value that is changed. Okay, now, so let me show you. So for example, you have two employee A and also employee B. What is the difference between employee A and employee B in terms of the overtime pay that they will receive? Okay, now let's say for employee A. Employee A works for that month is 10 hours. Okay, extra 10 hours. And then the employee B works for that month is extra 20 hours. So now 10 hours here, you have to time with 500 ringgit. So the employee A will get 5,000 ringgit. So how about employee B? So employee B works extra 20 hours time with 500. Then employee B will get 10,000 ringgit. Okay, 10,000 ringgit. So now, both of these employee A and B, the overtime pay rate is 500 ringgit. Okay, it's the same. So that's why you don't have to write in the input. Okay, because it is a constant. So the constant you have to write in the process later during you write a pseudocode and also flowchart. So that's why the input is only hour. Alright, so whatever that is a variable, the value that is changed, you have to write in the input. So the difference between employee A and employee B is the hour, right? The overtime hour. So the 500 ringgit is the same between these two employees.